stereotype.
What stereotype?
The one that says all black people know how to sing and dance.
Or that they all got rhythm.
Now that is not nice.
You guys are wrong. Leave her alone.
You know, it's funny to think about something like Secret Asian Man, but you know who could really use a superhero right now?
I don't know. You?
Well, yeah, I mean, who couldn't? But Arab Americans could really use a secret Arab American man or something, you know?
And why is that?
Well, I got it. What do you think of before when you hear the words Arab or Muslim?
Terrorism. Ooh. That was wrong.
Exactly. That's a stereotype that needs fighting. Christians against Islam.
Go back to the Middle East.
This is not your country. Christians against Islam.
Go back to the Middle East.
This is not your country.
Go back to the Middle East.
Hey! What's the deal? Why won't you let us through? We've got to get to our class.
Nobody's getting through. Especially no one that looks like you. We're blocking this building because we don't want you Arabs building a mosque in our town. That's the deal, Akbar.
Don't mess with him. It's not worth it.
No! I want to hear this. What's wrong with building a mosque? I thought we had freedom of religion in this country.
What's wrong with it? Why don't you ask the victims of 9/11 or our dead soldiers in Iraq and Afghanistan what's wrong with it? It's your people that started this, and we're going to stop it right here.
Our people? What's wrong with you? We're building a mosque, not a community or in the community center, not a place for violence. Let us through.
Look, we don't want our town to be a place for your terrorist sleeper cell. If you want to plot against America, you Arabs can do it somewhere else.
No terrorists in our town.
Terrorists?
No terrorists in our town.
My family is from Lebanon, and my father has owned gas stations in town for a long time. One day I was helping my dad, and a man came in and was trying to sell pot to other customers. My dad told him he called the police and demanded to leave the store. The man became hostile and started screaming, "You're the ones the cops need to be worried about. You're the terrorist." My father was so angry, but there was nothing he could do.
I am not Muslim. I am Christian Chaldean. Many people believe that all of us come from one place, but we don't. We come from every continent on the planet, but we always seem to get clumped together. Like our differences from one another don't matter to anyone. Are all blacks Christians? Are all whites Catholics? Well, it seems that here, people assume that we are all Muslims and terrorists.
People look at me strange because I wear this hijab, the traditional Muslim headscarf. But it doesn't bother me because I'm proud of my religion and my culture. It was my choice to wear the hijab. So many of my non-Muslim friends are confused, trying to find their identity, find out who they are. I know my identity, and this hijab makes it clear to everyone. And when I walk by Wayne State campus or U of M Dearborn and I see all these college students wearing their hijabs as they go to class, it makes me proud to be a strong Muslim woman.
When you're the outsider, it seems so simple for people to blame the whole race for the actions made by a few people. Us Arab Americans are all labeled as terrorists because of the actions made by a few Arab and Muslim people around the world. But if a black person goes hostile and shoots a bunch of people inside of an office or a school, does everyone assume that all white people are murderers? The majority of serial killers are white males. But nobody seems to call all white men psychos. But it's so easy to look at me and my family and automatically assume that you have something to fear.
No terrorists in our town. Now your socialization stew is ready to share with the rest of the world. Be sure to serve socialization stew at every meal so you
I must warn you, if after you finish your stew, you must, and your child starts to soak up other cultures, you must act quickly. Quickly put all of your stew in jars in the freezer, away from other foods that are different or may have exotic flavors. The farther you keep your stew away from other foods, the better.
So there you have it. Enough socialization soon to last a lifetime and beyond. I'm Shanice Carter.
And I'm Dane the Chef McDane.
Join us next week on What's Cooking Detroit when we will be making
Never Cross 8 Mile Pizza.
So now that we know what the issues are, how do we get the message across? How can we inspire people to change without sounding like we're preaching?
Brother, sister, be ye nice to one another.
You're right. Everyone's so quick to tell everyone else how to act.
I think that the hardest part is actually opening ourselves first.
Yeah, I mean, being an example always works better than just talking at people. I mean, after a while, they just zone out.
I think it's bigger than all that. If you see a movie or listen to music, you decide what to think. No one tells you, you decide. That's what I think this is all about.
So it sounds like we're all agreeing that it has to start with us.
Yeah.
What did we get from the youth dialogues? What did we learn? Let's get to work.
Well, I did learn that Arab was a racist word. At the youth dialogues, this girl came up to me and said, "You know that's a bad word, right?" And I looked at her like, what did I say? I mean, I didn't know.
I don't interact with many people that have different views or different looks on life, or even a different skin color. It made me realize that this will limit my ability to learn about other cultures and learn about life itself.
I learned about how we stereotype each other without even thinking about it. During one exercise, we had to break up into two separate groups. The Latinos broke down all their stereotypes about white people, and the white people did the same about the Latinos. It was amazing how we all knew all of the stereotypes. We couldn't even remember how we learned them, but we all knew them.
You know, before the youth dialogues, I never thought about what it was like to be multiracial. You know, to not fit in with one race or another. One girl in our group was African American, Mexican, and Native American. Another guy was Japanese, Polish American.
I've become much more open-minded. It's like I'm able to walk the streets, see a person of a different ethnic background, and actually start a conversation. It has really changed school for me. My closest friends are now white, Latino, and Arab. We are really different, but it's fun.
I learned that Middle Eastern food is really good. And there are different types of Asian food.
I met a white girl that didn't like Justin Bieber. We became friends instantly.
I'll never look at an Arab American person the same again. Now I'll see the person, not the stereotype.
I've learned that you can't just stand up for your own group's rights. If we believe in freedom, we have to stand up for the rights of other groups who are being put down. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere.
The most important thing I learned is that you gotta speak for yourself.
Yeah.
If these white and Asian American and Latino and Arab American kids didn't tell me the truth about what life is like for them, I never would have known.
This has become so overwhelming. So I just thought to myself, what can I do?
I can tell my story.
I can start a diversity group to open a place for people to talk about their differences.
Right. I can, whenever I see examples of segregation, I can ask why it's happening and what I can do to change it.
Yeah.
If I hear ignorant remarks in my school or in my church, I can speak against him.
I can keep challenging stereotypes and misperceptions. You know, like Secret Asian Man.
I can do a community service project that shows that different races can work together.
In the cafeteria, instead of sitting with people who look just like me, I can mix it up and sit with someone different.
Right.
You know?
I can face these issues head on by protesting racism in all its forms.
Yeah, we can take it to the streets.
Hey!
We can knock this thing out together. Yes, we can?
Yes, we can! Si se puede.
We can keep talking and listening.
We can keep challenging stereotypes.
We can keep working together.
We can keep asking questions.
We can speak for ourselves.
Speak for yourself.